Hey folks, my name is Jesse, and today I'm talking about my top 10 games I played at Dice Tower East. Dice Tower East just happened in Florida this year, and I played the most games I've ever played at a Dice Tower convention. So here's my top 10, starting with number 10. Number 10 is Art Robbery. This is a game from Dr. Reiner Knizia. And this is a game we actually brought along with us that we didn't really know the rules of. It was a quick, fun game, play with a deck of cards. Thematically, you are robbing these pieces from an art gallery and seeing what you can get away with. The person who gets away with the most wins the game. And there's also a chance for the person who has the least amount of alibis to be kicked out completely, no matter how many pieces of art they stole, which that was me. But it's still a fun game. My number 9 is Museum. This is a game that a friend of ours brought to the convention, but of course they also had a copy of it in the library. And the thing I remember most about this is the art. It's vintage trait art. And this is a game of collecting cards. And I mostly enjoyed it. It was a strange ending. Like, you get to rebuild your museum at the end and arrange everything. Just like you would if you were running a museum. You get to arrange it however you'd like. It's just, it made the beginning of the game seem detached from the end. Whenever I could just say, okay, I'm just collecting cards until the end, and then I figure it out. But it was still interesting to do that action. It just seemed detached from the end. But overall, I did enjoy it. My number 8 is Green Team Wins. I accidentally bought the Target copy, which only supports up to 6 players. If you buy a not Target copy, you get the 12-player version. I figure what I'm going to do is buy the non-Target version, and then we'll support up to 18 players. If that doesn't work, and you know it doesn't work, let me know that in the comments below, because I haven't done it yet. But I do like this game. I like how it brings everyone together, and it's just a quick little, not even a trivia game. It's just a quick, how would you answer this game? And it's a great game to get to know people, and that's exactly what it did at the convention. Kind of like we also played Fun Facts, which is not on my top 10, but that game was great at breaking some ice too. My number 7 game is Ubongo. This is an older game that involves speed, of putting puzzles together, twisting little pieces together to make them fit into a set outline on a card. First person to do that starts the timer, and then that puts the pressure on everyone else. This is a fun game, mostly because I found myself to be pretty good at it. I was able to figure out puzzles for Ubongo. I don't know, just the way my brain worked, just worked out for Ubongo. It's a fine game if you're into those puzzles, and they have different difficulties. You can include more and more pieces. And we even played Ubongo Extreme that had hexes that were shaped in different ways that I found to be quite challenging. In fact, there was one point playing Ubongo Extreme where the timer just didn't start for what seemed like 5 minutes, just because we were just trying to figure out this puzzle, and it just took a very long time to finally figure it out. My number 6 is Mind Management. This is a one versus all game where one player is hidden and the other players have to find where that person is. There are many games like this. There's Spectre Ops is another one that comes up as a favorite. And this one is a little different, has a smaller map, first of all. And it has more tricks going on and also more rules in a good way that everyone can understand. And it's a very thematically built game. I love that the cards, instead of just telling you in words what this card means, it gives you an image that lets you understand what the card means. Like, your agents are at fountains, and it'll show you like a picture of a fountain. And you gather, oh, this is the fountain from the board. And I think that's a really cool way of delivering news to a player instead of just saying, go to fountains, or your agents are found at fountains. I played as the not hidden people. They were called I don't know, agents, recruits, something like that. And anyway, we're trying to find them, and we only have very limited abilities. But what we do have are people on our side. So while I do believe it's way more interesting to play the hidden role, which I haven't done yet, I do have a copy of this game. Playing the recruits was equally fun because I had someone to bounce off of. Being alone on that would be terribly difficult. But if you're playing with a group, I definitely recommend it. That's mind management. My number 5 is Phantom Inc. This is kind of like Codenames in the way that there's 2 teams and there's a team leader that knows a word and they're trying to get the rest of the team to guess it. In this case, it's 2 ghosts that know a certain word and they're writing one letter at a time to answer the questions that the living ask about this particular item. So if it was like board game is the item, and you would say, where would you buy this at a store? And you might say T, and they might not know what T means. And then you say A, and then you say R, and then you're eventually they might think, oh, maybe they mean Target or something like that. Because writing friendly local game store might take a little while. Or if you write FLG, everyone's going to know, including the other team, what you're going for. So you want to write a little bit, but not too much. Anyway, this game was fun. It was a great way to include a lot of people. And this is another one of those games where if you're starting your game night, you can have people come in and just join a team. As you know, just like Codenames, you could just join a team and you're on that team for the rest of the night as you're coming in. It's great. My number 4 is Acropolis. This is a game that plays really fast. It kind of reminds me of games like Cascadia, where teaching the game takes 3 minutes, but playing the game only takes like 30 minutes, but your choices are ones that you like to think about and ones you think about in the future. Because in this game, you're building sections based on like 5 different rules, but in this game, you can stack up your tiles and those multiply. So if you arrange your board in a way where you can actually stack up your tiles, then you're going to get more points for that. And so the thing that I keep thinking about is, how can I do that a little better, stacking up? And I got it back to the table. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. It is more of a simple game, so the heavy players may not enjoy it, but it's a nice way to start off a game night. My number 3 is Decorum. This is what some would call a game. I do. I had fun playing it. Some people say, oh, that's just an activity. Hey, I had a great time playing it, so much so that I actually purchased this one after the convention. See why I didn't purchase it at the convention in my Dice Tower East review. But anyway, so in Decorum, it's a co-op game where you're living with all these people in a house, and you all have to agree on the way the house should be decorated. For example, I may have certain rules. I don't like red paintings. And then someone else might have a rule that says, I only like retro paintings. And one of those paintings might be retro. This is an example. I don't know if it's true. But so maybe they put up a red retro painting. They're okay with any retro painting, but they just happen to choose the red one. I'd be like, I don't like that. And they're like, oh. And then I take down their red retro painting, and they'll say, I don't like that. But maybe I start to figure it out. I was like, oh, okay. So he wants a painting. I don't want red paintings. Let's try a blue painting. He'd be like, oh, no. I mean, it's still not great. And then maybe he'll pick up that, oh, maybe it just wasn't red. Anyway, you're quietly trying to figure out what the other people want at the table based on their reactions. Games like this, you have to be immersed in it for it to work. If you're the type of person that just wants to say the truth and not hold back anything, like, this is not the game for you. And just, you got to play along. You're playing a role. So I enjoyed this game. I enjoyed the people I played with, and it was a very fun game of Decorum. My number 2 game is Marrakech. This is a game that I backed a little while ago. I backed the reprint. It should be coming in soon, very, very soon. And this is a Stefan Feld game. In our collection, we have most Stefan Feld games. except for recently, whenever he started going wild on all of the reprints and all that stuff. We haven't gotten really into those yet. Maybe someday, but it's a lot to keep up with. But Marrakech is, it's Stefan Feld's point salads again, but I just like the way it moves. And I'm looking forward to getting it on the table. It's a nice experience. That's all I got to say. It's a Stefan Feld. If you like Stefan Feld, you're going to like this. And my number one game of Dice Tower East is Planet Unknown. There wasn't much not to like about it unless you're looking for a really heavy experience, but this is hitting that medium weight, even a medium light even. But what I enjoyed about it is everyone's taking turns at the same time. It plays up to 6 players, and it has advanced modes where you can keep the game playing again and again. Something I would like more in the future is even doing some sort of campaign. Planet Unknown campaign would be fun. I just like the polyominoes. There's a reason people keep making these games, but they just figure out a way to just make it so enjoyable that everyone's playing at the same time. And by the end, you've built your planet up. You've done everything you wanted to do. And it just feels good. It's a great game. That's my number one. So if you were at Dice Tower East, tell me what your number one or number 2 or number 3 game was that you played at the convention. Maybe I missed it. There were several that I couldn't even check out. Arceus Society, couldn't check it out every time I went back up there. 14 minutes ago, it was checked out. Were you the one that got it? Let me know. But until next time, the box is closed.